I ate and enjoyed myself with everything that comes to my eyes. I enjoyed green tea. I was a fan of green tea, soya beans, and in fact, butters and margarines, just name it. I was always at the supermarket buying the supermarket item that suits me, but today not anymore. These were some of the lives I lived before this whole story started. And as it began as something little, poor sleeping and lot of energy, then came the climax of it. Climax happened on a certain day when I woke up with some of those uncomfortable symptoms like, having some congestion around the chest, loss of appetite, something I later understood to be acid buildup. Now, if you are not sleeping, sometimes this acid gathered around the chest. These are things that ordinarily quality sleep would have dealt with or would have taken out while you are asleep. But when you are not sleeping, these acids most times gather around the chest. And so it was that it gathered on that special day and no appetite. I went out actually with my spouse and we were out on a special assignment. And then I saw this hot pepper soup as he paid for it, and it was just steaming hot. Looking at it, I haven't had my water therapy, which I often talk about. Make sure you are observing your water therapy. But because of the fact that it was quite appealing to the eyes, I decided to take a little of it, very purpose, meat, and that was the climax. No water therapy in the morning, and with those acids on the chest. And on getting home, I began to feel this intense feeling like very hot. As a matter of fact, it was a day I will never forget. High level of anxiety feeling, as if life was going out of me. All the foods that used to work for me failed me. I ran for green tea, not knowing much about caffeine then. It made it all worse. I went for soya beans, my soya powder. It also added to the problem. It was also the time I got to know that soya beans is difficult to digest. And I continue to advise those having got related issues to beware of foods that are difficult to digest. And so from that very moment, all foods that were hitherto my friends began to look like enemies. That was the point. I went to hospital and it was said to be stomach ulcer. All those treatments and mixed math or whatever they call it were given, but they were only for symptomatic relief. They didn't cure the underlying issue, the underlying problem. And it wasn't up to a week or thereabout, I had to put it away and began to take more rest. No idea whatsoever about healthy food. Little did I know that mere dietary changes and a lifestyle change can take care of ailments that have taken me in and out of hospitals, most laboratory centers around until now. And beginning from the very moment, which I will also be sharing, make sure you watch the part 1, part 2. And if there is a part 3 of this video, you need to watch it, because my experience is not likely to be the same experience you're going through, but you definitely will learn something from this regarding your health. Yes, so much confidence in meditation at that time. As a matter of fact, at a point, a pharmacy was opened near my residence, and this gave me so much joy. Why? Because I thought that that would be the end of the problem, as I was able to access a nearby nurse and drugs around. But that was actually the beginning of the whole problem. All the antibiotics, I went for them. As a matter of fact, tested new ones, yet they were all failing. Disappointment began to set in that this issue, health issue, may actually never go away, as negative stories are often spread and advices are given that, oh, the typhoid may perforate the intestine if it's not treated. And that was the biggest fear I had then, and a lot of people had and still have it. It's over a decade. I never tested any of those antibiotics, and still will not test it by the grace of God. Yet, the bacteria are not where to be found. What were the changes I made, and what actually brought about this decision? Was it a medical advice? Not at all. Was it a parent advice? Nowhere. But it was a decision I made when all hope was lost. Now, all hope was lost in the area of antibiotics and drugs, in the area of medical assistance. This is not to say that you should not go for medical help or seek medical assistance. Not at all. They have their place, and I still encourage you to seek help whenever. It was actually an experience I had that actually empowered me or strengthened me from the inner man to take that decision. It was a decision I made like Esther of the Holy Book, saying, if I perish, I perish. I was actually at a hospital after we moved to a new area, Ogba to be precise, in Lagos. And it was also then I realized that when you are with friends, loved ones, and you're always happy, but when you are isolated, maybe in a new area, it seems that symptoms get worse. One of these reasons, I guess, was because most of the laboratories that were close by my former residence, most of the hospitals, most of those helps I was getting were no longer there. And so there was like hopelessness. And this is usually not good for us as humans. So I began to attend new hospitals. And on that fateful day, I was actually